Hey MilSpouse, and happy holidays. Travelers Insurance takes pride in empowering its employees to give back to their own communities all year long, and that is not lost on military spouses. Travelers has hired over 125 MilSpouses in remote roles this year alone. It is safe to say they're creating an amazing culture for you to go work for them. But we're meeting a super cool military spouse who works for Travelers. And Travelers created the opportunity for her to travel to Nashville, Tennessee, and write an incredible song with songwriters in Nashville about military spouse life, all thanks to their partnership with Operation Song. So click the link in the video, watch this with us, you're gonna have a great time.
Virtual employment is here to stay. I'm military spouse, VirtForce founder, and your remote work expert, Kimber Hill. Subscribe now to learn how you too can thrive in the virtual workforce.
Rita, can you come on and talk to us first about how Travelers celebrates the military community all year long?
We like to start with our Travelers mantra, which is taking care of our customers, the community, and each other. This is just extraordinary to me that Travelers over the last 10 years has contributed more than $228 million. And that is certainly something to celebrate to our communities where we do business and where we all live and play. You probably ask yourself, so why? Why would an insurance company with a mission to create shareholder value? Why would we put so much capital, both financial and human, into supporting the community? And well, it's the right thing to do, right? But it's more than that. We know that our community can't thrive unless our economies and our communities thrive too. So all of you need to be thriving for us to thrive. We know that our employees and our customers, some of you are employees, some of you are customers, and we all want to buy from and work for a company that aligns to our values. When we talk about value, we try to not spread, the funding like peanut butter and where there's no impact. For our military support, we have a lot happening. I just want to name a few. So with American Corporate Partners, we have a long time partnership with them. Some of you may have heard of them. We recently gave them a grant this year of $75,000 in support of their military spouse program. So if you're looking for some mentorship opportunities, that could be a place to go. And over the years, I think since 2010, we've had 245 travelers participate in over 660 mentorships. So quite a lot happening there. And I would say, if you're looking for some mentorship there, maybe some help with some resumes, and in addition to what this great organization does, ACP is another one.
This mentorship program is cool. I believe they have mentorship programs for transitioning service members too, but basically you contact ACP, you tell them where you want to go, they pair you with a mentor in that industry, and you get to work with them for a whole year.
We support Team Rubicon. Team Rubicon is going into communities where there might be a disaster, but it's not big enough for the attention from the government or maybe even the media. So Team Rubicon is going in, they're working on helping those individuals that have been affected by storms, helping them rebuild.
Rita, since many of your military hires are remote, are they able to participate in these programs and participate in giving back?
Absolutely. Our employees are able to participate in virtual volunteering. We have great partnerships with like Happy Hope Factory, who provides a library of books to children that are in hospitals or in shelters. And so you're able to read the book and tape yourself and add it to their website to help build their library. And our programming through Community Connections, you're able to log your volunteer hours for whatever you're doing, as long as it's a valid 501c3, and earn $20 for every hour you log. So say you volunteer for Habitat Build, 6 hours, $120. You put your hours in, you take those funds and you can donate it to a charity of your choice. It could be the charity you volunteer for, or maybe another charity that you're passionate about. And then we also have matching gifts, up to $500 in matching gifts annually. So lots of ways to get involved.
Rita, tell us about Operation Song, because I know everyone is really itching to hear the story about Operation Song and actually hear the song.
Yeah, so Operation Song is actually one of our Art Speaks initiatives, and we leverage our sponsorships in the arts field to leverage our programming. So it could be a museum, it could be going to a show. In this case, it was partnering with Operation Song. And I'm not going to be the spoiler alert, so I'm going to let you all go into that. And I can't wait to hear the song. I've heard it many times. And by the way, get tissue.
I have stood among my neighbors in all of their service and their strength. So amazing to be a part of a group of strangers who become your family. Resting in the truth, I'm where I'm supposed to be. Everything around me changes. It's all different, but somehow it's still the same. Though we might be in separate places, I'll ride the waves and find my place again. Yeah, right now I might be on my own, but I know I'm never alone.
Jennifer Gabe, make me cry. I'm over here fighting back tears. Jennifer, say hello to everybody, please. And please tell us about this unique experience that you had made possible by the Travelers Foundation.
They partner with a songwriter in Nashville, so that was not my voice. That was Kelly Johnson. What they do is their organization is really to help veterans work through PTSD through songwriting. We sat down, had a conversation with the songwriter, and by the end of that 8-7 hours, we had a song. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know. I'm not a songwriter. I'm not a musician. I'm not a singer. But I have had a very good experience across our 22 years of being in the Air Force. And my husband was about to retire, and I thought, oh, what a better time to share this experience. And then I got to share that at my husband's retirement with all of our friends and family. They really are the military community, and the people that you meet in the military really do become your family. And I wanted to honor them as we transitioned out.
Who here is currently going through a deployment? I personally am. Yep.
Many.
So we'll see those in the comments and see all of these people who are impacted by this. Look at every single hand going up. I really appreciate, Jennifer and Travelers, your willingness to put something like this together, because music is incredibly therapeutic. And it's really one of the major reasons why we created VertForce and why we formed this partnership with Travelers. You sacrifice so much. Every single person on this call has sacrificed so much, and you should not have to sacrifice your career or your earning potential and your ability to take care of and contribute to your family. You just shouldn't have to. So Jennifer Gabe, would you share with us, how did you find Travelers? What do you do at Travelers? What's a day in the life like for you there?
First of all, I want to start by saying to those of you who, have that gap of employment, have kids at home. I too I stayed at home from the time my kids were born. My original degree is in elementary education. And we decided that because of all the moving around, it was really important that they had somebody consistent. So don't devalue your time as that family member or your volunteer service, because that's all I had for 10 years. That's basically what my resume was every aspect of volunteering in schools, volunteering for organizations. So be proud of that and talk about that when you do have these interviews. But so I stayed at home for quite some time. Once my kids got into high school and middle school, I thought, they don't need me as much. So I started another position that then went away with COVID. we did a fellowship with Hiring Our Heroes. And before the fellowship even began, Travelers reached out. I had an interview and I got hired before the fellowship even began. I was really looking for something that I could do virtually, that I could do from home, because I still am very involved in my kids' schools and programs. So reached out, got hired as a coverage specialist with personal insurance in a virtual setting. I had no experience insurance or sales, but what they could see is by the diversity of my volunteering and the places that I've been, and you just, I can't say this enough, you can't devaluate that. Everywhere we go, we have to reinvent ourselves. We have to establish our kids in schools. We have to learn about the community. That takes a lot of skill. It takes a lot of courage, and it shows a lot of initiative. So those things are important, and I'm thankful for that experience as a military spouse. And for my kids as well. Once we got out onto the floor and started taking customers' calls, I realized that I needed to shorten that time. I was not making, it was just not meeting what I needed to meet for my kids. And so I sat down with my manager in HR, and they worked with me to find a time where it's going to allow me to get to what I need to do for my kids right off the bat. Not 6 months in, not a year in, right off the bat. That is amazing. I don't know if any of you know that, but for Travelers to support me with no history of insurance, no sales, no, just say, we are here for you and we're going to make this work. And they did. So I'm coming up on 2 years with Travelers, come in February. I learned something new every day. That's what I enjoy about the position that I am. It's challenging, but it keeps you on your toes, and the amount of support, whether it's your team in the chat or your manager or your trainers that you trained with, 2 years ago. Everybody is accessible and there for you. When my husband retired last April, so just in 2022, I needed some time. I don't know about, those of you that are transitioning, the amount of meetings, the amount of things that you have to attend to, and then just keeping up with your lifestyle. And so I reached out, and right away, again, you don't have to wait, 2 years or 3 years. Right away, they asked, what do I need? And they got it done for me. And I had some time to help my husband transition, my family transition, and do what we needed to do to make that successful. I don't know another company. I have had other jobs. I don't know another company that would have done that for me.
That's wonderful. Jennifer, thank you for your service, your husband's service, and congratulations on the retirement.
Thank you.
That you guys you've just gone through. I know that's the goal for a lot of people who are on this call today. On your note of what other employers do that why do we make such a big deal about calling Travelers the GOAT, the greatest of all time when it comes to remote benefits and remote employment? Benefits day one. Everything day one.
I didn't mention growth. The opportunity to grow and the incentives to reach a higher pay, like the incentive benefits, are also amazing with Travelers. One of my classmates has already been promoted to a manager in my department. So there is opportunity to grow from my position. There's opportunity to grow financially for my position. And so that, again, is another a GOAT experience with Travelers.
We're about to release a #promoted success story where we highlight a military spouse hired via VirtForce at Travelers Insurance and her 2-year journey to an underwriter position that she achieved in 2 years, which is fast for that kind of a position.
Travelers is some of the best benefits in the industry, and we are deeply committed to the communities that we serve. And it's one of the things that I think personally differentiates us as an employer of choice. There's this innate desire by our employees to participate, to give back, and to get involved. And we can't stress that enough, and we're really proud of it. So we're actually getting ready to do another event this Friday. We are partnering with an organization which you may have heard of called Blessings in a Backpack, where they align to schools across the United States and organizations that will literally stuff a backpack full of food items to send off with kids on a Friday afternoon so that they have something to eat over the weekend. And so our team came together. Donations came in from all over the United States. We Venmo'd each other, and we're going to feed 120 kids this coming weekend. So that feels incredible.
I'm still learning the military language, so forgive me if I get something wrong. But when you guys get orders to move, we know that it can happen within a couple days. We know sometimes you get more time, but as soon as you find out, as an employee, we ask you to work with your manager. From what we understand, every deployment or every move is different, right? Some folks get moved one state, some move just to a new base, which is within the same state. And so we try to work with what you actually need. We do have a very rich PTO program. So there are some times that we'll ask you to lean on your PTO time, but there are also times where we'll say, hey, you just need a day or two and we'll work with you on trying to get that done. Also, depending on your equipment, if you need to send it back to us, we hang on to it and we get you new equipment shipped to your new address, because we know you have to fill what you have in your car, because sometimes the movers take a little bit longer to get to where you are. So we'll really just work with you individually on what is it that you need and then try to meet your needs from there. So I wish I could give you like a structured package that we offer every spouse, but that's not the case. I think it's just individualized based on what you need.
Yeah, the last time that we did a Coffee Connect with Travelers, Jim told a story about a spouse who said, what works for me is please ship me all new equipment when I get to where I'm going and let me send this back to you, because the likelihood that it's going to survive the trip is slim. Yeah. And we know that, right? Who's lost something during PCS? Hands up or throw it in the chat. You've seen the Facebook groups, My PCS Nightmare. Like, things go missing. So we really appreciate that Travelers, they see that, they hear that, and they've responded to it with a dynamic solution that fits you and meets you where you are.
That's not just the hiring process or the HR. Travelers constantly, like today, we have town hall meetings. They're constantly taking feedback, and I've been part of that feedback and have made procedural adjustments. So they're very responsive as well across the board to listening to those of us on the front lines.
So one thing that we've done here at Travelers is train our hiring managers to look at resumes differently. So if they see volunteering, president of a PTO program, some of the selling 31 consultant bags, things like that, to understand what those are so that they can help make those connections for you in the interview process, and understand that, hey, selling bags for a living is not as easy as it may sound. Or I know I sold Pampered Chefs early in my right out of college days, right? So it's not an easy job to make a living off of. So how do you use those examples as a way to learn some things here at Travelers? The other thing I'd offer is we have a really, really great training program. So if you've got the skills and the desires and the things that Julie talked about, we'll teach you the job. So don't feel like you have to understand insurance, or you have to we teach you how to spell insurance. We teach you the basics. We'll teach you how to use our systems. And we teach you how to do all of those things, aspects of the job, so that you just got to come in with the willingness to learn and the things that Julie talked about from a skill set perspective. So don't be afraid to try something new.
So what do you guys look for as far as someone working as a customer service rep, or just someone who's working for this company? Because I know that you guys mentioned that you, as far as experience is not needed, but I know there's a type of person that you guys would like working for Travelers.
So when you think about having just an unquenchable desire for excellent customer service, right? Being that ambassador for Travelers. So when our policyholders call in and they have a question or they have a concern, you are the friendly voice that's going to help them through that. So I would say, the professionalism, the strong communication skills, the positive attitude, the empathy, but then you also have to balance that with a desire to be working on the phone for 8 hours a day, probably talking to 40 or 60 customers in a typical day. I know a lot of people look for some flexibility to take certain breaks. Unfortunately, on the spectrum of, set my own hours or have to work some set hours, we're on the far end as far as having a set schedule that you would work. However, you would have a 5-day work week, so you have 2 days off, whether it be 5 days during the week or 4 days during the week and working a weekend day. But again, our position's full-time, 40 hours a week, and most of them do require quiet office space. As a military spouse, if you get stationed overseas, we would not be able to accommodate that. But, as long as somebody was actively employed and left in good standing, we are a company that typically offers rehire opportunities. And so that would be something to come back to Travelers as, what we'll call a boomerang employee, right? If your assignment took you overseas and you wanted to come back.
What would be the ideal candidate for a property claim representative trainee?
So for that one, think of, and I hate to say the worst day you've ever had, right? But if you think of hurricanes, if you think of tornadoes, if you think of wildfires, these are the Travelers representatives that meet our customers, property owners, like homeowners, at their place of loss. So I live in Kansas, what if and I'm insured by Travelers, so I hate to think of it, but if if the tornado came through this area and catastrophe response team would be deployed here to take care of our Travelers policyholders. So you're working consistently for 30 days straight, helping settle those claims and meet with our policyholders. I think normally you handle about 60 to 80 claims during that time frame. So the empathy, the ability to work independently, the ability to work in all conditions. It's a physically demanding job when you think about being out in all of the elements, right? But then also climbing ladders to inspect roofs and for damage and things like that. So again, think of the person who would come to your house to inspect the damage if you suffered significant loss, and working outside in all the elements, whether it be Florida or Washington and Michigan to Texas, anything in between. So it's a demanding job, but it's a rewarding job because you are meeting our customers when they need us the most. So.
And that also provides a really great career path opportunity too, coming in as a property claim rep trainee and working your way up into more senior level roles, technical specialists, our most senior level claims adjusters into management. It really depends on the path that you want to take. So, and that's just one part of the claim trainee family.
Thank you. You'll be getting my application.
Thanks,
Great.
Carl.
Great. We can't wait to see where that goes. And we are here for you. The VertForce team is here for you to help you make the next step, whatever that step is. And we can't wait to see you all achieve your New Year's resolutions. Bye, everyone.